goes inside of our head, that how this actually affect us in a very negative way. Because what is, and I'm not only talking about Disney, I'm talking about those romantic movies that the guy is so perfect or the woman is so perfect and they are perfect for each other and they live happy after ever. Right? So that's a problem. Why? Because when we get married or when we are in a relationship, one of the things that plays a big role is called expectation. You know, I expect the prince or the princess, and I expect without knowing that I expect. That's a very important thing to realize. I expect without knowing that I expected. Do you see the difference? Every time you create an expectation in life, you're not aware that you're creating the expectation. It's not always that easy for you to see that you're actually creating an expectation. And when you say, no, this is your expectation, no, I don't expecting this. Yes, you do. Because this is in what we call the consciousness, the collective unconscious mind that Jung talk about it. And we are very connected to that. And what Jung told us is this, the only way that you can actually get off of this matrix is when you become aware of this. So you go into a relationship, you're expecting, but you don't know that you're expecting, and then you start to project on the other person every single movie, romantic movie that you ever watched, and every single belief system that what you believe a great relationship should be. Okay? But that's one of the things that happens. Another thing that happens is when you approach a relationship with all the expectation, the mental expectations, the belief expectation, the belief system expectation, but you also wound within. Okay? So all this wound that you bring it in to the relationship, at the moment that you start to relate to another person, that little wound, it can become, let's say, I won't say bigger, but what happens when you touch a little wound? It hurts. Am I right? So if it touches your womb, that it's little, but it's there, it might hurt even more. So when can I give you an example of that? Let's say, for an example, that the person that you are relating to says something to you like, I don't know, you're not doing this right. It's a simple thing, right? If I tell you you're not doing this right, you may say, okay, how should I do it? Think about a job. If you go into a job, a new job, and your boss will tell you, you know what, this is not how you do things. This is, let me show you the correct way for the job. But if you go into a relationship and somebody will tell you, listen, you're not doing this right. Anything. Let's see, for example, you are mopping the floor. Things that you do it every day. So the person will come to you and say, you're not doing this right. Well, if you hurt, if you live on a house in the past that your mom or your dad was constantly telling you that you're not good enough, that little you're not doing things right, it becomes so personal to you. And that it's huge. So you're not dealing with one little comment that the person is making about you. You're dealing with a huge problem in the past. So we bring all this to the table, to relationships. How do we deal with that? Let me ask you this. I want to hear you. Tell me, in your opinion, what is the most difficult things in relationship? Anybody, for you, use your example. What is hard about it? Yes. Understanding the other person. Okay. Understanding might be accepting or really understanding. Accepting or understanding? Like what? Tell me about that. Go ahead, tell me. How could you understand the other person?
I guess by talking to them, listening to them, seeing how they feel.
Okay, and why this is hard for us?
Why?
Okay, all right, that's good. Anybody else? Yes.
They're a collection of patterns and habits. We all have our own upbringing and root system at home, and due to that, we all have our own way of thinking of what's right and what's wrong. So bringing two worlds together.
Yeah, exactly. So how can we go deeper on that? How do we go to a relationship so sure that our way is right? This is what we do, okay? So when what she's saying is true, when we come to a relationship, we come in and we say, no, my way is the right way. And then they come in with the same attitude. No, my way is the right way. So of course, there's going to be problems after problems. So I'm going to give you a little bit of spirituality in here. The number one, I would say, work. The number one thing that we need as a spiritual person is to perceive ourselves not better or worse than anybody else. That's the number one thing in spirituality. If you want to go, or if you want to access spirituality within you, the first thing you need to feel, it's not here. It's, I'm not better than anybody, and I'm not worse than anybody. Okay? But it's not something that we say. I want to make this clear. It's something that you actually feel. Why this is a problem everywhere, included in relationships? Because when you come to a relationship and you think that you're better than the other person, okay, there is something called control. The reason why you want to control the other person is because you think you're better than the other person is. You think that your way is better than the other person. And what you do is you try to control that person. You try to control what they believe, and you do not understand, like what she was saying, you do not understand the type of person, and you never will, because you think you're better than her or him. Okay? And there was another thing. When you feel, okay, worse than the other person or less than the other person. Some people feel better than the others, and some people feel less than the other. And the tricky part is, when you feel less than the other person, you don't always know that. Okay? You're not aware of that you actually think that the other person is better than you. You have no clue. You allow the person to dominate you. You allow the person to do all kinds of behaviors, problems, because you're not aware that the root cause of this problem is that you feel less than the other person. And that's not easy to admit. That's difficult. Okay? You may not like yourself, but you have no idea that you don't like yourself. How many people you hear saying, no, I like myself, I love myself, I enjoy myself, I like myself. But you know that the person doesn't like themselves. What is the number one sign that demonstrates that you are not the biggest fan that you think that you are yourself, like yourself fan, that you don't really like that yourself that much? What is the number one sign for that? It's when there is a little sign that tells you that you do not accept yourself, or maybe you don't like yourself. There is one very good sign. Depression, okay. But I'm talking about reactions to life, okay? One of the things is your tolerance to be criticized. That tells a lot about you. How well do you take a criticism? I can take it. No, I cannot take it. Okay? I know nobody likes to be criticized, but it's different than react with anger or sadness towards when somebody criticizes you. You might not, it's not the best feeling in the world, but when you react to that with too much anger, or you become too sad, too sensitive, too personal. When somebody said something to you, now bring that to a relationship and see a problem right there. No one can say anything because it becomes a problem. I cannot say to you, oh, I don't think you're doing this the right way. Right there in the beginning, when we talk about it, that becomes a big problem for you. A big, huge problem. Okay? So why is that? It might be because of two reasons. You might think that you're better than that person, or you may think that you're less than that person. Otherwise, you wouldn't care.
Or you truly don't know who you are, because if you do, whatever what people say, it should not bother you.
That's what I'm saying. Think about that. I want to get to the root of that. Okay? When you go to a relationship, what is your relationship, okay, when you are dealing with a very rich and successful person? How do you behave with that person? One way. How do you behave with a person that is your relationship with a person that, I don't know, that, let's see, that picks up the garbage or do anything or sweep the street or a janitor? It's not a humble people. I'm talking about a person that it doesn't have the status. No?
So does it intimidate you on the point of view?
It's not. It's once you feel better than that person, and the other one you feel less than a person. This is how we feel. We can only be honest. So we're always comparing. Okay? There is, and sometimes what we do is to make us feel better about ourselves. We know, oh, you know what? There is kids in Africa, you know, that don't have anything to eat. And at least I have a nice rice and beans and an egg here to eat. Like, we have to put ourselves better than somebody to make us feel better. That's a problem. That's a problem. But when you walk into a relationship, you walk with this mindset. And depending on the person that I'm dealing with, that person, I'm going to feel better or less than that person. And this relationship will not work. Will be a nightmare. Will be a nightmare. Because relationship, it's about partnerships. It's about two people coming together as one, actually. Allan Kardec, in one of his books, he's telling us that the biggest problem that we have as humanity are selfishness and pride. You want to go in a relationship, you cannot be selfish. You can't. You cannot relate to somebody that are selfish. You simply can't. Because relationship, it's union, it's connection. And you need, everybody says that nowadays, everybody goes in and says, you have to think about yourself, it's all about yourself, but think about a relationship. And I want you just to think about it. I want you to think about a relationship that two people getting together and one is thinking about the other and the other is thinking about the other. Look at the difference. It's two people serving each other. It's two people that are happy to do things for the other person. That's what relationship it's all about. And I don't know if it's about finding this right person, okay? Or if it's about the spirituality that when you talk about relationship, it's difficult not to talk about spirituality. Because one thing connects with the other. Another big problem in relationships are communication. Okay? We have a problem, especially the men. Every time that the woman says, oh, can we talk about it? Can we sit and talk about it? They go, oh no. No, why? Because usually it turns into a fight. And it's not a good thing, you know, to fight. Because when you go in to communicate with the other person, one thing that we must do is I'm talking, I'm communicating, but I don't have to prove that I'm right. Let's be honest, every time we want to talk to somebody, what are we trying to do? Convincing the person that I am right. And the person, if you're right, the other person will be wrong. So that turns into a fight all the time. Because you're not going to communicate with somebody with an open heart to really try to understand the other person. It's rare. Let me listen, and let me see what a person is trying to tell me. Because remember, what pride is, remember that Allan Kardec talked about pride and selfishness. Pride is when you believe that you are the image that you create about yourself. See? That's pride. You believe in the image that you create about yourself. We all do. See your everyday life. Sometimes you meet a person that they are so selfish, right? They're so attached to material things, to money, whatever. Nothing against that. I'm just giving an example. But then you tell the person, oh, you like money so much, and the person say, who, me? No. I don't like money. No, I have to be secure. I have to think about the future. I cannot spend too much money. But you can tell. You can tell. But the person can't. They can't see that in themselves. And that's pride. Because they believe in the image that they build, and they believe in that image, and they will defend that image like crazy. And if you try to attack that image, they will defend themselves. That's what we call ego. It's an ego. That's the image that you create about yourself, and you desperately and you truly believe that you are there, that you are exactly that image. So what happens in relationships is that you cannot see yourself. You don't see the true self. The only thing you see is the image. You see how this can be a problem? That's why criticism hurts so much. Because who, me? No, I'm not. I know you are. I have to defend this image that I create for myself. So, what happens? How do you see the ego? It's very easy. It's very easy. What you don't see in yourself, you will project to others. So most of the things that you hate about your partner, it's in you. Because that's how nature works. And it's a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful thing. But first, you have to become aware. That's awareness. That's awareness. Listen, I cannot see my ego. I cannot see easily, but my partner can. I will project everything on them, okay? And when I'm aware of this, I have, let's say, I see relationships as an opportunity to grow together. Now, if you have a person next to you that does not want to grow, it's nothing that you can do. Usually in a relationship, you bring whatever is the positive and the negative. I'll bring whoever is the positive and the negative, and we work together. This is what relationship is all about. But one of the other problems that we have in today is that everybody is looking for a relationship in life, thinking that that's going to bring them happiness. That's a problem. Because what happens, if I believe that in order for me to be happy, I gotta have someone, what's going to happen, people? Anybody that looks at me different, they say, hey, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. And we become too fragile, I would say that word, too desperate to find someone. And when you're desperate, that's the vibration that you're putting out there. When you're desperate, usually what you attract to yourself is questionable. Relationship itself, it will not make you happier. What will bring happiness to your life is the number one rule of spirituality that I tell you. Do not feel worse, less, or better than anybody. Start with that. It will change your life. It will change your life. And it will change your relationship. have a software. That software is still running. Okay? So if it's still running, that means that you are the observer. Just like when you're watching a movie. You're watching a movie. You don't think that you are the actress or the act. You're just watching the story. Is that right? So that's what you have to do with the story that your mind is telling you. You just watch it from a distance. So your mind is telling a story. Oh, in order for you to be happy, you have to find the princess or the princess of your life. You got to have a relationship. That's the story of the mind based on the belief system. In order for me to grow, I just need to become aware that this is just a story, that it's running through my mind. I don't have to believe in the story. It's different. I'm just aware of the story. And the story that your mind is telling you, it's because it's in the collective, like Jung said, unconsciousness of this planet. It's unfortunately that in order for you to be happy, you need a relationship. And you go to relate to people with that mindset. And that's one of the root cause of divorce. For an example, you become a giver or you become a taker. Depends on the kind of personality that you have. You become the controller or you become the control. And when you relate like that, it's impossible to work. Literally impossible. How many people you see that it's been married for years, but they're not happy. They're just under the same roof. Sometimes they even become their enemies, you know? All because of the software that is running. How many people, how many women do you see? How many men you know that it's in a very toxic relationship, cannot leave, will not leave, unless they get, completely rejected. So relationship, ladies and gentlemen, will not make you happier. But if maybe you find a person that you are in love, that you really love, you can build a life together. Based on love and compassion and kindness, but not only towards each other, but towards the world. It's hard when you find someone that tells you that loves you, only you, desperately you, but don't care about anything in the world. Red flag. You want to find a person that is in love with the people, with the animals, with the plants, with nature, with everything. Because chances are that that person is capable of loving you much deeper than you think. You might want to invest and find someone that is in love with life itself. That it doesn't matter. They will treat the waiter, the waitress the same way that they will treat, I don't know, the president. That has that kindness, that compassion. Would be easy to find? Probably not. If you have someone like this, good for you. But if you don't, there's nothing wrong with you. Absolutely nothing. Every time we think about what we want and not what we don't want, it makes us feel more powerful. Your mind is telling you a story all the time of what you don't want, and sometimes it forgets you to tell you the stories of what you want. So bring that to your memory. Think about what you want, what you really, 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 really want in life, more than what you don't want. So when we're talking about relationship, if you have a relationship with someone, or if you don't have a relationship with anybody, but if you find one, what is that you want? Because what you want might be somebody that is financially independent. And you think about finances all the time, and you think about, I'm going to get this person because that person has money, for an example, or that person has beauty. We're going to connect with that. And we're going to be in a relationship maybe from the wrong motivation. If you are a little bit spiritual, little bit, you don't have to be very spiritual, but if you are a little bit spiritual, you will care for the world, you will care for your planet, you will care for others. Have you seen people lately that they are completely in love with animals, but they hate people? Right? Oh, I love dogs. There is more association and people in the world connected to pets, a lot more than people. Nothing wrong with connecting with pets. That's wonderful. But we also have to connect with people. We have to be able to care for people too. We are all part of nature. And that selfishness, it's a problem everywhere you go. It's a problem in the families. It's a problem in spiritual centers. It's a problem in countries. And we think that we know better than people from the other countries, so we go in war with them. Everybody thinks that they're right. Same problems that we have inside of our house is the same problem that we have countrywide. Thinking about that. We want to be in peace. We want the world peace, but we don't have inner peace. So everything that we want, we need to be able to create. Whatever you want, whatever you want in a relationship, whatever you want in life, bring that within you. And the most important one, so don't get out of here tonight without thinking about this. In order to conquer everything that I want in life, and I'm talking about spiritual, not material, everything that you want in life, we will come to you when you don't feel better or less than anybody else. Okay? Thank you so much for your attention.
Obrigado, Yonara, for the talk for tonight. Next, if it's the first time you come into our house, we're going to do our reminders. We're going to have a barbecue in the park on April 20th. It's a family day that we have in our group here. It's a special day. It's a wonderful day. It's 11 a.m., $25 we're charging. Every kid under 12 is free. And the address is right here. If you want more information, stop by our library, and we'll put your name and your reservation in for our family day or barbecue. Every Wednesday, we have these spiritual talks over here. Every Wednesday is a different person that talks. And after that, we have the healing passes, magnetic healing. And we also have the channel messages that our mediums do during the lectures. 15 minutes before you come into the lecture, put it in your name here in the library. Go there. The person is going to be there. Is going to take your name. And while you're here watching and participating in the lecture, the mediums are psychographing a letter for you. Okay? And we also have on a Wednesday, the fluidotherapy. You bring your bottle of water. You saw a little cart in the band there in that room. That water goes inside. The magnetizers will magnetize the water, and you take home, drink 3 times a day. It's wonderful for you. We have a wellness program every Tuesday, meditation, 7 p.m. Every Tuesday, we have a different meditation teacher that teaches here and give a different meditation. It's all free. It's from 7 to 45. All our meditations are in English. On Friday, we have a spiritual surgery with our spiritual doctors and mediums. For that, you need to book an appointment. Most of those appointments is related with physical illness. And we have a yard sale on March 8th. If you want to participate, let us know. We need volunteers to help out on a Friday and on a Saturday during the yard sale. So now I invite you all for a final prayer Following a final prayer, we're going to go into the healing passes. We're going to be calling you guys for the passes. So I want you guys to join me here and on your heart and in your conscience, being thankful for this day, being thankful for this planet that is our home. Let's put it, our heart and our compassion together towards our home, towards the planet, towards the countries. They are in a war at this moment because they are not in a war between two countries. Our entire home is a war because we are all one. Let's wish and pray for this violence to stop and scale down every day, so we can recognize us as part of the same family, loving family. Let's look to make our choices, always basing compassion, always looking to the well-being of others and ourselves. We are very thankful for our masters and mentors in our centers to always be with us, illuminating our path and our lives. So with that, I ask permission to end our practice for tonight. So be it.